Casually using the word peacefully while repeatedly urging a crowd to fight doesn't make it not incitement. Just like saying no offense after an insult doesn't make it not offensive. You know when someone says something really insulting and then adds on,
"No offense."
Just saying no offense doesn't actually make something not offensive. But that's the type of argument that the former president's defenders are making when they say he didn't incite the January 6th insurrection because he used the word peacefully once in his speech that day.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
But what was the context?
Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. Thank you. And we're going to have to fight much harder because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
In a speech that was more than an hour long, President Trump used the word peacefully once, and the word fight at least 20 times. And that's not even getting into the months he spent fear-mongering, lying to his supporters about voter fraud, claiming that if Biden took office, it would be the end of the country, the Washington Monument would be torn down, newborn babies would be slaughtered, and Trump supporters and their families would be at risk of being murdered. These are actual claims he made during his campaign. If one were to believe them as legitimate statements by the President of the United States, how could any patriotic citizen not take up arms to defend against these supposed threats? But Trump's defenders claim that a passing reference to being peaceful makes all that okay. President Trump used a similar defense during his first impeachment, when he made taxpayer-funded military aid for Ukraine dependent upon Ukraine's president doing him a personal favor. The literal definition of a quid pro quo, as confirmed by multiple witnesses, the president's then own chief of staff, and the transcript of the call itself. But Trump supporters have said no, it couldn't be a quid pro quo, because on a call with Ambassador Sondland, Trump specifically said,
I want no quid pro quo.
Just saying no quid pro quo doesn't make it stop being a quid pro quo. Casually using the word peacefully while repeatedly urging a crowd to fight doesn't make it not incitement. Just like saying no offense after an insult doesn't make it not offensive. In this case, the House has declared in a bipartisan vote that indeed there was an offense, an impeachable offense. Inciting violence to try to overthrow the results of a free and fair election could even be called a treasonous offense. If the attack on the Capitol wasn't exactly what Trump was asking for, why didn't he do almost anything to stop it? His entire real-time response appears to be a pair of tweets after violence began, telling his supporters to remain peaceful. And hours after that, a video where he told violent insurgents,
We love you, you're very special, but go home and go home in peace.
He was still the commander-in-chief of the US military. Where was even the level of force used to clear a path through actual peaceful protesters for his Bible photo op? As Trump's own former fixer Michael Cohen has explained, Trump has a history of using language the way a mob boss does. Using words that mean one thing, like no quid pro quo or remain peaceful, while sending a clear message that means the opposite.
You've got a nice army base there, Colonel.
Yes?
We wouldn't want anything to happen to it.
A mob lawyer could try to argue, my client wasn't threatening that family. In fact, he specifically said it would be a shame if anything happened to them. He was expressing concern. But an argument like that would have to be knowingly deceptive, willfully ignorant, or frankly, just plain stupid. No offense.